That says live. Is it recording? I do this every time. Hey everybody, it's your girl Angie. Welcome to Kiss My Cheeks TV. Me and Charles are here today to go over RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 6. Of course, you know I'm Angie with Cheeks TV. You want to introduce yourself real quick, Charles?
And I'm Charles Warren online on YouTube or the Charles Warren on Instagram. Thanks again, Angie, for having me.
Thank you, Charles, for reviewing Drag Race with me this season. We're going to have a good time. As you all know, we are a week late, and it was pretty much because we didn't feel the first two episodes were something
Worthy.
to jump and run online to review. Like,
Right.
it was like, really? So, to be consistent, we do want to give our opinions on episode one and two. So, we're going to do that. So, let's just jump right into it. Episode one, we had all the queens enter the workroom. We already did a cast assessment. I know it wasn't uploaded, but me and Charles know what we said. And we were pretty much excited. I was pretty much excited to see majority of the queens. So just the entrance look. Who had your all-time favorite entrance look for All Star 6?
For this particular cast, the person that I liked the most walking in the workroom was maybe Akiria. Akiria
Really?
Davenport. I liked the gold. For me, I liked her from the waist up. From the waist
Mm-hmm.
up, I feel like she had the best outfit. I just didn't like the bottom part, like the skirt.
Yeah.
It was too wide
It
around
seemed
the
like
outer.
flaps
Yeah, I didn't
instead of
like
a
that
skirt.
part. But her hairdo,
Loved.
the baby hairs, the top, I was feeling that. I was feeling that.
I did like Akira, but then once Yara came in, I felt like they were twins, but because they both had on gold. But for me, the one who just had just something, I liked Silky mostly because she had a gag with it, like she pulled the milk and
The
the
cookies.
cookies out of her breast. And then I
Hmm.
later learned that that was a jumpsuit with tulle on one side to kind of make it look like a half dress. So I was like, oh, that's different. So I like Silky's walking in the
I liked her
best.
hair. Her
I
hair.
did like her hair, and I always love Silky's makeup. I think she does great makeup. So who had your all time worst? Just what you
Oh
got on,
my
girl?
gosh. Miss Ginger Minge. I don't know what or whom influences her behind the scenes with these looks, but baby, that was not it. Like, what costume store did she get that bumpy, raggedy, wonky outfit from? Because it wasn't even funny. Like, I think she was trying to go
No,
for
it
the
wasn't funny.
gag. Like
Yeah,
she was the frog or something or whatever her
it
little
didn't give
punchline.
frog. It gave STD to me. Like it
Right. It
didn't
gave
give frog. If you would have gave more frog, it I would have got it. But for me, the worst, like I hated the most, probably would have been. It's a tie between Jan and Eureka. Like I hated what Eureka had on. I just wasn't feeling it at all. And then I learned she wore it on HBO like it was a repeat look. So like whatever. And then Jan, I just didn't get the backpack with those little bitty purple bikini and straps. I just didn't get it.
See, I didn't hate Jan's. I like Jan's color palette, but with Eureka, I feel like because she's such a big girl and she's so tall, she like towers over the other girls. I feel like the particular pieces, like with the
The
skirt,
hips.
the hips,
Hmm.
I think it was just too small. Like that particular type of undergarment. Let's say who was oh girl last season that wore something like that with the blade hat. Um,
Oh, I know, because I
you
end
know
up
who I'm
liking
talking
her at the
about.
end. Rose.
Rose, yes. It's supposed to be big. I feel like if Eureka would have given us really a big size, like taken up the room, then yes, then it'd be like, okay, I feel you. But she gave us
Mm.
that little bitty
It was a little
undergarment
bitty cage, and then it was
page.
camo. I just wasn't feeling it at all. But so we made it through the entrance, and like I said, I wasn't wild. We already seen the entrance, like they leaked that first 15 minutes anyway, so it wasn't a surprise. Then we get into what's supposed to be our favorite challenge, mini challenge. The library is open. And I didn't see too many reads, but just off top, what was your favorite read if you had one?
Favorite read? Maybe when was it was it Jiggly when they were saying, maybe it wasn't Jiggly, but they said when Pandora heard that the capacity was for 10 people, they were like, her she could still have her events during COVID. Now I that was a good one. That was like a ooh,
That
okay.
was
Now that's a
funny.
read. Yeah. Um what about you?
I thought my favorite read was Jiggly because it was not Jiggly, Ginger because it was so obvious when she said Suki was in such a rush to get dressed, she put her
You
ass
put
on
up
backwards.
yes. Now that was good. I do agree that Ginger should have won.
Ginger won
Yeah,
hands
I agree.
down. But it was lackluster. Like I was ready to chuckle. I thought these were all stars. Like, aren't you practicing your reads? But anyway, it's supposed to be a variety challenge, and we look forward to it. Me and Charles talked about it. We were trying to guess what everyone's talent would be.
Mm.
And when I saw the variety show, I was like,
Everybody got a song nowadays. Just
everybody's just gonna lip
everybody.
sync they song. Everybody's just gonna do a song, and you're not even gonna dance. Like if you're not gonna dance like Kennedy or how Aja got up there and danced, like if you're not gonna dance like that, don't do a song and dance routine. You need another talent. A little two step isn't gonna make it on Drag Race. But real quick, we're gonna go through everyone's talent. We're just gonna say if it was a yes or a no for us, and then
Tens
move
or are
along.
we gonna do tens or chop?
Tens or
Ballroom?
chops. Let's do that. I
Yeah.
love a good legendary. I wish I had a wand, but I
Yes.
don't.
Get some good palette
A
paddles.
good 10, we'll work on that for next time. A 10 or a chop. Up first, I did not write these in order, but up first is Akira. She did a nice hip hop dance routine to her own song. What did she get?
I give her a 10. Um, Not saying it was the greatest of all time, but I liked her look.
Yes.
I think it was on brand,
Hmm.
and she was at least on beat. So I give her tens
That part.
compared.
Akira gets a 10 for me. I agree it was on brand. I liked her look. I loved her wig. I really loved her wig. And Akira, out of all the lip syncs we saw, she had the most energy to me. Like she was giving me a performance of them all. So okay, up next is Jiggly. I wrote down she gave us a little cheerleading performance. What did you think about Jiggly's
Chop. One chop.
chop?
Two chops.
Gone.
Thank you.
She's gone. That was very low energy. Everyone was living for her wig, but I didn't like it. I saw too many flyaways, and the costume was a double chop. Like, what kind of costume was that? Up next, Kylie Sonique. She did another little kind of talk sync, kind of little burlesque talk sync. What do you give Kylie?
Ooh. If I was really judging hard, I would say chop, but I'm going to give her tens. In comparison to the other
To
performances,
everyone else?
I would give her a 10. Hmm.
I'm giving Kylie a 10 just for the body alone. She came out in that outfit. I was like, yes. I told you in the assessment, I don't think it's fair. I just, she's too, the body is too good for me. I just don't think it's fair. But I liked it. Like, it was supposed to be low energy, so she gets a 10. Up next, Raja made a dress in 60 seconds.
I guess it's a 10. To me, like, okay, if it's going to be a gag worthy dress, though, we need a gag worthy dress. The dress
60
was
seconds. You can't do too much gagging in 60 seconds.
exactly.
but
So
she
it was a.
completed it.
She
Think
did
about
a scene.
episode 2.
Literally, she did a
She did
scene.
that
She
in
did one
60
scene down the
seconds.
side. She did the scene and then she put it on in 60 seconds. It's like, okay, okay.
True, we don't know how much was already sewn together before she laid that fabric on that table, but I'm gonna let Roger live. She get a 10 just for being different from me. You get a 10 for being unique because we all know Roger can lip sync and she chose to do something else. So I appreciate that. Up
Yeah,
next, we have Scarlett with her bubbles.
tens across the board. To me, that she was robbed. To me, that was to me one of the very best performances of the night because she gave us layers to her performance. Not only did she give us the, we in the COVID time, so she did a little hand washing, and then she gave us the bubbles here, breasts. Now she did an outfit reveal, which gave us the breast bubbles under the outfit. So, oh, it's a reveal. And then she gave us the big bubble that came across the stage. And then she gave us the burlesque numbers with the two things here, hands, boom, boom. I thought it was cute. I actually think that as a show, thinking of a Violet Chachki, because Violet Chachki does something very similar to that in a actual show. I was like, oh, that's actually a number she could do a whole song to on like some Vegas stage or something, and people would watch.
Not this one. No, ma'am. That's a chop. I thought I was like, where's my niece?
No
Where's my nephew? What is
way.
she doing with these bubbles? Like, no, ma'am.
I thought
I
it was
I was not
great.
entertained. She wasn't the worst, but she still would have got chopped. No. Next, we have Jan singing an original song, hitting her
Chop.
very high note. Definitely a chop. Like I said, no, ma'am. My ears.
She was
We just because you can hit the
screaming.
high note doesn't mean you should hit the high note. Like it.
Jan,
No.
do, Jan does not know how to sing. Jan can hit a note, but Jan does not know how to control her voice. She doesn't do vibrato correctly. She's not good at riffing. She's not a great singer.
I wasn't impressed. Like it would
Mm-mm.
chop. Moving on. Eureka had a very emotional lip sync.
Tens out of respect for the rest in peace moment at the end.
No, I actually will give Eureka a 10. I
Mm,
enjoyed her lip sync. I love the emotion that came with
I
it.
hate how she was.
I enjoyed it. It was emotional and it was different. She had projections on her dress. Like at least she gave me something different.
Right, I agree.
Up
Tens.
next is Pandora doing her dick 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 dick
Chop. One chop.
chop.
Two chop.
It was a no ma'am. The silly strings out of the breast. I don't know why they love that, but it was definitely a no ma'am. Okay. Suki Nutmeg Ganache gave us This Little Light of Mine at the
Chop.
piano. Thank you. Chop. What kind of fifth grade kindergarten church recital is this? Like,
Yeah.
if you're going to get at the piano and sing, I need you to get at the piano and sing. No, ma'am.
Yeah. She didn't take it up. She didn't take it up. She didn't even keep tempo, and she wasn't getting the words right. So no.
I noticed that, but I think because you know how on some TV shows you have to pay to sing or play certain
Copyright.
songs. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because I noticed she changed the words. It wasn't This Little Light of Mine, but it was something in that area. So I think that's why she might have changed the words a little bit.
Chop.
It still was a chop. Trinity K. Trinity K. Bonet wanted to be
Chop.
a comedian. Definitely a chop. I've seen you do so much more on Instagram. Girl, what were you doing on Drag Race? Like, I haven't seen you. Why would you go to a talent that's not your talent?
And I've actually seen her on the pageant circuit do a comedy skit where she's dressed up like an old lady and has like another old lady guest with her, and they do like little like a bus stop bench like skit, and that shit is actually funny. It gives you Tyler Perry really, but it's still funny. But this right here, she forgot the lines.
Mm-hmm.
She is not good improving because she could have just made something up. Like, even if it's not what you wrote, still just say something. The
Yeah.
lets us
She
know that
was
you don't.
trying to do a continuation of the light bill jokes from her original season. And because she forgot her lines, it threw what she was trying to do off. So, girl, stick to what you good at. You should have got out there and twirled like everybody else. Ginger Minge, all I remember are the pink Afro puffs.
Chop,
Chop, because I can't remember what you did. I just remember the puffs. Serena and her wig commercial.
chop.
Very much a chop, but at least you got to showcase some wigs. And then finally, Yara Sophia with the floppy titties.
Oh my gosh, tens across the board. That was so funny to me. I was dying, and maybe because everything else was so bad. When that came on, it actually like let the air out of the room because
Yeah,
everybody was so uptight because everything was so bad, and then she came out there and was just boom,
it just
boom,
was.
boom, boom,
Okay,
boom. Yeah, I gave her a 10 for that.
well, she would get like a
A
like
7.
no, like a chop and a five, like a mini. But I like you said, it was hilarious because it was Yara, but that's not a talent. Like
Comedy is a talent. That's a comedy skit.
it lost its appeal, the comedic nature of it, because she wore the titties every other time since then. It's like, okay, this is just what you're gonna do this season. Is flop around and bouncy titties. I don't know. But that was the talent. I don't remember who the top three were. I know it was between Raja and Yara. And Yara ends up winning the challenge for the week.
It was Raja, Yara, and Pandora were the
Oh,
top.
well, that's why I forgot because Pandora got a chop for me. So I personally felt like Raja was robbed, but I can see why they gave it to
What?
Yara. Yeah,
No, ma'am. For doing one scene in 60 seconds.
all Yara did was purchase some floppy titties and bounce around the stage in them.
No, because it's actually a comedy skit. It had a track to it. She had lines in the song.
It was Yara
Titties,
being
titties.
Yara.
I mean, titties. It was funny. To
It
be
was
honest,
funny. I'm not gonna
to
take
be
that from her.
honest,
It was
the
funny.
top two should have been Yara and girl that shouldn't even be there. What's her name? Bubbles.
Oh no, no.
Bubbles.
If I'd rather you give it to Akira if you're gonna give it to anybody else. I believe the bottom three ended up being Trinity, Serena, and Silky, with Silky being safe.
Yeah.
So it's Trinity K. Bonet, who was someone I really was looking forward to seeing, is now up for elimination week one.
Do you
And
do you agree with that bottom? Before you move on, do you agree with those bottoms?
I agree for the point of Suki was a mess. Trinity should have went home if we're gonna be honest. Because Serena wasn't all that bad when it comes to lip syncs. It just everybody was it was so many chops. Anybody could have been in that bottom.
Hmm.
So
I
I
would have
agree with
rather.
it.
I don't. I think Jiggly was worse than Serena.
Yeah, Jiggly was worse than Silky. At least Silky played the piano. Like Jiggly was worse than Serena.
Hmm.
Jiggly could have went home first. I don't know. I felt like, and we discussed this before, I felt like no matter what, Serena was going home first. Serena could have got up there and did an ice skate on one toe, a black backflip. She could have been
Okay,
Denali
Denali.
times two, you know, and Serena would have went home first. I believe it was in her contract to go home first. Like, girl, come out here, talk about your wigs, get some free promo, and just go home first. Somebody got to go. Because Serena wasn't the worst, if we're
Sound
going to
about
be
right.
honest.
And that's to be honest, knowing from what we talk about, Do you believe that they cast people to go home at the beginning?
Yes,
Like they
they
purposely
have to.
cast some bad people just so we can have like the first four eliminations.
Mhm. I agree. Because you said Jiggly was going home second, and that happened. I mean, we're jumping ahead of episode. You'll get that in a few minutes. And I don't know who goes home tonight, but it has to be maybe time for Jan and Pandora to get in the bottom
It might be and that's the thing too. We talked about them possibly saving Pandora for Snatch Game
for Snatch Game.
because she's known for being a comedian. So I think Silky might be going soon, either Silky or
Scarlet.
see, but Scarlett is doing good.
But
Scarlett is low key doing good
what is
behind
the
the like
challenge tonight? Like, is
I
it
don't know. Oh,
the
it's
one where
the
they,
branding. It's branding tonight.
oh, branding? I thought it was the performance where they
It's
all
a make a
do a
product.
musical.
Yeah, make
Okay.
a commercial.
Well, Silky's not going home with that because Silky's funny.
So
It's
it
gonna
might be
be
Pandora.
someone
It
who's
might be
not funny.
Pandora's night. It might be Pandora's night if she bombs it.
I don't know. It could be Trinity's night. Trinity has not been performing, but we're getting ahead of
That was
ourselves. We're supposed to be focusing on episode one. Let's get back to
one.
the lip sync. So,
Yes.
this season, all the queens get a vote, and either the lip sync assassin will send home a queen, which is the group vote, or the winner can send home a queen, whoever they vote for. So Yara wins. She goes up against Miss Coco Montrese, and they did not let Coco do the Janet Jackson song for week two.
Right. That's her thing.
But anyway, they do Bruno Mars. What did you think of the lip sync?
Um, why that song? That's that when I first heard it, I was like, my first thought was like, why this song? But then I
Right.
was like, okay, this song was popular, but still, you don't see drag queens would not lip sync to that song in a nightclub. That's one thing. Drag
No,
queens normally don't lip sync to men
to male
songs.
songs.
Right. So it's like that was awkward. But I agree with the winner. I think they
I do
chose the
too.
correct
It was hands down going to be Coco when I found out what the song was, and Yara came out with the floppy titties again. I'm like, girl,
winner.
you just did this joke. So I knew Coco was going to win once I saw that. And so I agree with it. And so the group decided to send home Serena Cha Cha, which I believe it was in her contract to go home. Because I can't believe not one person didn't want to try to get rid of Trinity.
Well, Trinity, I think everybody remembers Serena from her original season. So
Mm-hmm.
they just knew she wasn't good. They weren't really willing to give her a true second chance. They were like, "Girl, you were bad back then, so you going home."
At this point in the competition, had Trinity messed up Akira's wig yet, or did they film this and then Serena messed up Akira's wig?
Um,
I believe they probably filmed first, so she hadn't messed up Akira's wig yet.
they usually film the first episode before a promo shoot.
Okay, because some
So,
people on Twitter were like, they voted her out because of the drama with Akira's wig, and I was like, but did she make Akira's wig yet? Because they didn't talk
and
about any
to be
drama with the wig.
honest, they may have made she may have contacted her about the wig before they came on the show because behind the scenes, the girls already kind of know who's going to be on the show
Mhm.
because they're all getting their stuff together and they use similar seamstress and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So I, to be honest, think that um, Serena was supposed to bring it on the show with her. That makes the most sense to me because I don't think during a competition she would have time to make a wig. That
No.
doesn't make sense.
Well, you
Yeah.
got time if you go home first. You got all the time in the world to make a wig.
Yeah,
What do
but
you
they're not
think
gonna
this?
and let her back on set just to give a wig. You can't do that. You can't give people stuff out like from outside into the competition.
No, especially it's still COVID. Um, what do you think is this game within a game?
Oh, they're gonna bite off Big Brother like they. That's what the whole voting thing was supposed to be, like a Big Brother Survivor thing. And I
Hmm.
think they're just this is going to be the first season where it's going to be a jury. So everybody that was on the show will be the jury for that for the final vote. It won't be up to Rue. It'll be up to the jury.
You no. At some point, no. I don't want that to happen because that's what screwed up Shangela her season. I think because some kind of way the ladies have to get an opportunity to get back into the competition. So
I
I
don't
think
think
it's going to be a jury vote to get back in.
I think because of COVID, they're not going to bring anybody back into this. Once you've been taken out, I don't think they're going to be bringing people back into quarantine. I don't know. Who knows?
I do not want to see a jury vote. That is going to be the shadiest deliberation. Because imagine Jiggly's friends. Okay, we're getting ahead of ourselves to season
Hmm.
episode 2. So we're just gonna put a pin in that. We'll talk about that in episode 2. And any other remarks about episode 1 before we get into episode 2?
No, I just we're this video don't even need to be edited. We did good with time. So
Mm-hmm.
I would just ask people in the comment section, do y'all agree with the bottom two? Like who would y'all have put in the bottom two? And yeah, do y'all think people are casted to go home early?
To
I
go
think
home
that
first.
I think that's a debatable thing. I think people are like, oh no, they're picked because they're great. Or
I feel like Raja was casted to be one of the first ones to go, and I think Raja is going to send a couple of big time people home.
yeah, I said that in our original
Yeah.
cast thing that she's going to be the one to gag the girls this season.
Hmm. So that is a good question. And let us know. Me and Charles were thinking about going live on Thursdays. Of course, we aren't live this Thursday because we're a week late for episode 1 and 2. But let us know in the comments if you want the reviews to stay recorded or do you want us to go live after the we watch it. Just let us know what you think in the comments and definitely subscribe to both channels. Follow us out there on social media. For me, everything is Kiss My Cheeks TV, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Charles.
Mm. The Charles Warren on Instagram, Charles Warren underscore on Twitter, and I am Charles Warren online on YouTube.
Okay. Well, stick around. If you watch this one, go ahead and watch the next one. We're getting ready to dive deep into episode 2, the ball challenge. So we'll see you all in a few minutes. Bye.